In this lesson, we're going to continue unwrapping the frame of our weapon. Alright, so we have got the third smoothing group here, and we're going to be unwrapping its different pieces. Now, for the most part, it looks pretty good based on what I see here, so let's go ahead and open it up in the UV editor. And let's just take a look at some of the different parts that we can start working on here. So, looking at these groups here, these are all on smoothing group 3. Alright, and because they're on different smoothing groups, we need to make sure that they have different seams. They're not being attached to anything else or anything like that. So, very important that we do that. Okay, so now with this, let's come in and let's just start taking a look at the different larger pieces first. Whenever we get into areas like this, it can be a little complicated as to what is what. So let's go ahead and deselect. Let's select just this piece right here, and that's going to select that main portion. I'm going to select the polygons that I want to be attached to it. Okay, making sure that the only things that are selected are inside of this 0 to 1 space, not anything else that we've already done. And then we'll take these pieces and we'll start to grab all of those. Now I can take all of these and I could try to do a flatten mapping, but because it curves out and then back in and then out and back in again, that can create a little bit of an issue with the unfolding of that. And so it would be best to go ahead and try to bring these together in separate pieces. So select just this one piece again, and then let's do this. Let's select these right here. I know I want those to be together. And then we'll just do a planar map projection. Let's use the Z direction. Actually, let's do the Y direction on that. And then I'm going to grab my rotation tool, hitting E on the keyboard, and I'm going to rotate that to where it's about the same angle as what we have, and then we're going to use Fit. Then we'll go ahead and we'll scale that. We can do it horizontal or vertical, whatever you're comfortable with. In this case, I'm going to do horizontal. Let's turn off planar map projection and scale that in. And again, I'm taking a look at the size of the checker pattern there. So I'm going to scale that in to where those are pretty close to being square. And then I'm going to come in and relax that. Okay, just to take care of any areas that I can't see there. Now once that has been relaxed, okay, we have that piece. Then what I can do is go ahead and move this outside here. And let's go to edge mode. Double click on this bottom edge, and you can see that this piece is together. We can go ahead and stitch that. Select that element again. Let's relax that again. Whoops, let's not do that like that. Let's not click on it just like that. Let's go to polygon angles, start relax. Notice that comes together and straightens up. Then we're going to double click on this set of edges. Take a look at that. That looks good. However, I'm not quite where I want to be on that. Notice that we have all these other seams right in here. So what I'll do instead is I'm going to go ahead and go to polygon mode or face mode on this. And let me select these faces because I want all of these to be one cluster. So I'll flatten that out just like we did with the first one in this lesson. Okay. And again, making sure that what you have selected is only inside of that 0 to 1 space because that's on smoothing group 3. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and use the planar map projection. Project that. Let's make sure that that's in the Z direction there. And if you want, you can go ahead and rotate that. Try to get that at a better angle. This is pretty good, so let's hit Fit. And then we'll go ahead and we'll use our scale tool. And we'll scale that in the horizontal direction. Turn off your planar map projection so that way you can scale it. Get that as square as possible in the main portion of the UV because there are going to be some edges that might be a little different. And then let's simply relax. Okay, holding down on that, going to polygon angles, start the relax. Notice how that flips around, but it doesn't tear anything up, so it's perfectly fine. Let's close this. Let's go to edge mode. Double click on this edge here. That should select that loop and then stitch. Then we'll take that entire element and we'll relax that one more time. and then we'll orient that in a vertical or horizontal direction using our rotation tool just to make things clean. Okay, we'll make that horizontal just like that. Very good. All right, now with that, we're going to just put it right up here. It's much larger than everything else. If you want, you can go ahead and scale it down just to kind of fit in this area. But actually, let's go ahead and bring it right over here first. Okay, so we'll bring that there. I don't want it to go with smoothing group 2 just yet. Okay, we'll mix all of that together whenever we're ready to pack all of it together. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and move on to our next pieces. So we have this piece here, and that's going to be right underneath there. So this is already flattened out. Notice that we have everything, so I'm going to leave that just the way it is. I'll move it out of here just to kind of keep things clean. Looking at this object, where is this at? That's on the bottom. If we wanted to, we can make this all one entire loop, so you can actually select all of those and make that come together. But that's going to connect to this piece too. I think that might be a little too long. Yeah, let's go ahead and try this. Let's go to edge mode. Turn off your element mode just to select that single edge and stitch that together. And then take this edge right here, and you'll notice that it's going to attach to here. Let's take this one, and that comes all the way down to here, so that's fine. All right, let's keep those separate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cluster right here, and I'm just going to relax it just to make sure everything is fine with that. It looks good. Close that. Let's pull this over here. If you want to stitch that together, you can, but I'm afraid that that would be really long and could create some other issues later on. So we'll just put it right here. It's okay if that's split there. And then let's take a look at the rest of our pieces here. Let's see, what do we have here? That's right across the top. That one actually looks pretty good. What's this? Hit Z. This is going to go across the top of the site. Let's go ahead and stitch all of those together. Double click on this edge here, stitch, and double click on this edge and stitch that. Take those pieces. If you want, you can go ahead and relax that. Oops, we got one more. Double click on that edge and stitch. And then take that entire thing, relax it. And there we go. There's the top of that. And let's see, what else do we have here? Hit Z just to kind of zoom in on these pieces. There's that one. That one looks pretty good. What is this one here? And that's right up here. So let's go ahead and do a simple stitch for this one. There we go. There's that. Select that entire thing. Let's do a relax on it. Okay. And then, let's see, we have this guy right here. And I'm okay with that. Let's actually try to make that one solid smoothing group. Now this one's going to be different. That's going to be on a different smoothing group. As you can see, that's over here. And I don't want that one. I just want these. Take a look at these here. What do we have down here? It looks like this guy is on a different smoothing group altogether. Yep. Okay. So let's just take this all the way across the top. And it's just these pieces here. We could actually stitch that together. So I'm going to just select this one edge here. We'll stitch that. There's that. Take that entire cluster there. We'll just do a quick relax on it. Straightens out. And there we go. So now we have everything. We have these two pieces here. Let's figure out where those are at. Those are underneath. Those are going to have to be separated on their own. Okay, we can't connect those to other pieces because they're on a different smoothing group altogether. And so they just have to be by themselves. And it's going to be lonely for them, but that's okay. All right, so now that we've got that, let's select all of those pieces that are in smoothing group 3. And let's just simply pack that into this area. That's going to help with the size of the polygons. Okay, making all of those together. And then we're just going to take these, and I'm going to pull this up above here. Just put that right there. All right, so now we're on to the next one. Let's select by smoothing group 4, selecting that, and we should have just a couple of pieces, nothing major on this one, and we really shouldn't have to do anything except do a flatten mapping. So we'll flatten that. Those pieces are going to come out, and then we can actually take a look at all the pieces, and you can see that this one, if we select its cluster, is actually just right here. Okay, it looks fine on its own. Let's take a look at this one. Obviously that one looks pretty good. That's on the back side there. We have this one that needs to be on its own smoothing group. This one needs to be on its own smoothing group. So these are all great. We'll take a look at that one. That one's fine too. So we'll take all of these. We'll just do a quick pack. Okay, on that. Let me find it again. It looks like I lost my, oh, there we go. It's under Arrange Elements. So we'll pack that really quickly, and then we'll put this right up in here, just separating that out. And then we have one final smoothing group, which is 5. And there we go. So there's that. Now, there's these other pieces here that belong to something different, and that's belonging to the barrel. We've deselected those. We're just worried about what's in the frame right now. So this smoothing group here, let's go ahead and just flatten mapping on this one. Hit OK. We shouldn't have to do much to this except for what's around the edge here. Okay, so if we come in and we go to Edge Mode, right here on the edge here, we should be able to stitch all of these. So let's go ahead and find that in our space, and that's actually on the rim here. And tell you what, let's do this instead. Let's take this group, this cluster, and we want to add these polygons to it on either side. And with those selected, let's use a planar map projection just to separate that out, bring all of those together. We're going to use the Z direction on that, and then I'm going to grab my scale tool in the horizontal direction, and then I'm going to go ahead and scale that. Let's turn off planar map. Scale that inward, get those to where they're close to being square, and then we'll use relax just to take care of any polygons that might be a little more skewed than others. And there we go. So there's that. Move that out of the way, and then we have these other pieces here. Now these pieces are going to be around the edge of our object here. And so what we'll do is we'll go to Edge Mode, go select just this edge, we'll stitch that, take a look at that edge, that's right up here at the top, so that's the end of that one. Take a look at this one, that comes down to this point here, we'll stitch that, and we'll do the same thing on this one. So select that edge and stitch, and select this edge and stitch. Take both of those and just simply relax. We're going to relax by polygon angles. Okay, and there we go. So now we have all of those. We can go ahead and pack those in, and then we can move that outside of that area so we know we're finished with that. All right, so we've finished up the frame. We've got the handle. We've got the main portion of this. Now we need to just deal with the barrel itself, and we'll get started on that next.